Bring a whole bunch of coolers.
Oh, God, no. Why? I got so confused on this ice situation.
You know, I'm going to start a...
I got to pee.
No, I'm going to start...
You're going to start a what?
No, for people like you, seniors, it's like a... It's like a... No,
Oh,
a situational... course. No.
Okay, let's go back to the mask. Let's go back to the mask on the table before you start squawking about that.
You put
No, it's going to be situational things where you put you into a situation and then you have to get out of it.
like in the like at the gas station, can you get over the gas?
Yeah, exactly. It's just little stuff like that.
You get over the gas hose. So funny.
Hey, Lenny.
Hey.
Well, how you doing?
Your destination.
Oh, see, a long time now. See, you guys are looking great.
You look handsome as
Thank
ever.
you, thank you. I'm like him, huh?
You do like brothers from
How
a
are you?
different line.
I know.
Yeah.
Let me get my hat. They won't
And there's your other brother.
Good.
How you doing, fella?
From another mother.
Denise, how you doing, dear?
Very good to see you.
Good to see you. All right. And who do we have here?
Jeannie.
Jeannie. Oh, my.
Hi,
My little horse girl.
How are you?
Good to see you. Okay. Welcome back up to Pennsylvania.
How you doing?
It's been a while.
Yours up, and then I think, geez, we were in whose wedding that I last saw you, I guess.
Kelsey's
Kelsey's
wedding.
wedding. Okay. Good.
That was 8 years ago.
How you doing? Every time I think,
8 years ago.
I always think of you.
Okay, what?
Because of the corks.
Every time you see what?
Corks.
You think of
Well, because she gave me some ideas. She sent me some ideas
from
what to
arts
do.
and crafts.
I got even more corks. I got this whole cork thing going on, but I don't have a plan yet.
I have more corks.
We just throw them out now. We're not going to bother saying them anymore.
No,
We did used to
there's
say
going to be
them.
something down the road. I don't know.
You get it's too many. Yeah, I remember we had a wine tasting.
We live north of
party in our
Pittsburgh.
neighborhood that
We live about,
hosted
took us
every
an hour and
year for
15 minutes to
11
get here.
years.
How much?
So one year at
an hour and
we should
15
do
minutes.
like
As long as us.
Yeah,
man.
you kind of zigzag your way down here. Yeah, you're staying around Connellsville or something.
Yeah, that took about 45 minutes.
Yeah, we're about like
So we had
north of
people
Pittsburgh,
guess
maybe
who
about
were.
40
And so
miles,
then
something like that.
When the answer came
it's
out,
been our home there
somebody
for
won.
about
I think I gave like a
the last 20
$25
years.
gift card to
We've always been north of
stores.
Pittsburgh. We just keep moving further
Anyway,
north, a
they
couple,
said,
3 houses.
Many. And I
We're
thought,
done. We're Betsy wants to downsize me. She wants a small house.
Oh, you're going to do all that?
I don't know. I got 7.5 acres. I mow an acre. But I don't want to stop doing that yet. So I'm going to keep doing that.
Keep on doing it.
Keep doing
As
it.
long as you can, keep on doing
Yeah,
it.
because
Yep.
me, Blair, and Mark, we're all gardening people. We love the yard.
Yeah.
That's our life. I'm not going to give it up yet.
And this guy's still playing hockey.
I
Mercy.
am, yeah.
so are you still in your same house?
Yeah, with Jake now, our
Oh,
son.
yeah. We've done so much more since you last.
Father, son on the team.
We have,
He takes 3 shifts, you take 1. Is that
He's
how it
doing
works?
good. Yeah, he's hanging
I
in
keep
there.
up with him.
It's like a
He's not, well, he's a little slower than Jake.
But he's cerebral.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's, yeah.
Oh, Blair's through.
No, I keep up with them. I'm probably the third oldest guy on the. I am the third oldest one on my team.
Okay.
But I still had
Good,
Maddie,
good.
Sarah, and,
You guys won a
What I think
championship
is funny
then.
is I go to
That's
the
good. I
games
saw it on
and it's
Facebook
like,
there.
where's all the fans?
yeah, it's really fun playing with your kid like that. It's such a nice thing to do.
Yeah, I imagine.
Because we play together. Jake and I play on the
Same
line.
line,
Yeah, so it's fun.
So you said you're on 7.5 acres?
We are, but only about 2 of it is yard.
Maintained.
And then it's woods.
Woods.
So we're at the end of a cul-de-sac. So our development is like they took it just plowed to the development of the country. So it's everybody has 2 acres for the most part,
Except you,
us.
you got, nice.
So, yeah. So, but
We got,
he goes down in the woods though, and he keeps paths cleared so that
Yeah, like snowmobile paths on your property?
No.
Kind of pass?
Snowmobile.
Well, you could, but nobody does. Go-karts would be good for go-karts. See, whenever we're ready to sell that thing, that's going to be one of my selling points. Because hopefully they have a teenage kid with a dirt bike that's going to
Oh, that would be wonderful.
He's going to say, Mom, Dad, you got to have his house.
Yeah.
And they're going to say, but it costs too much. They want too much. They'll say, but we got to have it. They'll say, okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's
you know
the way
how
it
kids
works,
are.
yeah.
Now, when you go to Florida all the time with your sister, does she live in Florida?
She does.
Okay, because you're there very frequently.
We are. We go every like February, March timeframe for 3 to 4 weeks, and then they come visit us into the summer.
In the summer.
When it's real hot down there.
Yeah.
So they're coming towards the end of July to like mid-August.
And what part of Florida are they in?
They're in Land O'Lakes. So it's about a 40-minute drive north of Tampa.
North of Tampa.
They're inland. They're not.
They're inland. We're going with my sister and my brother-in-law. We're going to go to the villages.
Have you ever been there?
No, but I've watched documentaries
Yeah, I know.
on it.
We're going to go. It's only, we have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. It's $149 a night.
Oh my gosh, that's a deal.
I know.
Well, I want you to
That's why
buy a
we're
house
going.
down there so
And
you
it
get you
comes
sucked
with-
in and all the amenities.
It comes with a golf cart and 2 bikes. So we're going to bring our own bikes and we'll rent an extra golf cart because we're guessing the golf cart is a 2-seater.
Right.
If it's a 4-seater, it would be okay, but we think it's a 2-seater. We're going to go the first week in December. So we didn't want to go in the summer, but we thought for $149 a night. Yeah, Mark.
They were all here except for
Karen and Terry's our strongest Paul sure. So Karen is not here. Yeah, she,
Hello, Terry. Hi, Terry. How are you, dear?
yeah.
Good. I remember you from our Facebook post there.
Yes.
Was that Lenny's son?
Nice to meet
Oliver?
you. This is in the black shirt.
That's Oliver?
Oliver. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I just seen him.
So yesterday we saw Ed and son Nick, and Margie and I hung out, went to Washington, did some things, and so we got to meet Ed's family and Lynn's family. So it's like, all right, we have these names committed to memory. We got here this morning. One I couldn't remember.
Oh.
So I felt, you just it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Christy in the blue.
yes.
That's Lenny's daughter in the blue hat. So
Oh.
this must be her husband.
Yeah, Matt.
Okay. Did you go to their wedding? Oh, we weren't invited. I was. No. I didn't.
Yeah. And I mean,
Yeah. Oh, of course.
we've been there, we've done that.
Right.
We know you can't.
Right.
Everybody
Oh, yeah, name tags.
That's a good idea. Name tag. Have you?
The girls have name tags.
Well, everyone should have.
Are any of your children here?
No, they couldn't make it.
No.
No, your kids didn't make it.
No.
That's what I told them. I said, I bet their kids didn't make it. Because he said, I really wish they I do too,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and we had told them ahead and that, but Katie, they just got back. She and Josie just got back from Josie's college orientation on Thursday night. They got back. And I don't know what they were doing yesterday. She said, if I live an hour away, I come visit.
Exactly.
But it's 5 hours.
It's yeah.
Oh, 5 hours? They're that far from you?
Cincinnati, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's why when we go, now that we're retired, we go for the weekend, we go for 4 nights. We go Thursday, come back Monday. And that way we're not traveling on the holiday.
Oh, we visit Sandy. We just came back from Iowa City visiting Sandy.
Okay.
And that's a 12-hour drive, just car ride.
Yeah.
But we do it in a couple days. And then Denise's sister lives in,
Yeah, then we'll stop in Illinois.
which is nice. We get to see them a couple times a year.
And then Tony and family, they're in D.C. this weekend. And I had planned their vacation, just a long weekend. But, and they've sent some pictures, and I was happy to see that it wasn't bad. They kept saying on the news that Washington was hit with the California fires.
Yeah.
Not California.
The Canadian, yeah.
And they showed like New York City and DC didn't look good, but by the time they got there, it was so nice.
Well, we were worried about here because everyone was saying it was heading this direction.
Right, yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, they're freaking out in our driveway. Oh, we gotta cancel, And I said, we're not going, we're going. But now someone said I put his mask in the car.
you had them on the kitchen.
I don't know where they
counter.
came from, but I did put it
You put them there.
just in case.
Well, that's what he said in New York City. People were wearing them again because it just, you don't want to mess with them. Yeah.
What are you drinking there, Louis?
I got a beer going. Would you like a beer?
I brought some beer.
Okay.
Somewhere. Mark's got them, I guess.
I brought a couple of beers to
I'm gonna put this on
go
my
down with there.
I'm gonna put this on my head. I could live stream.
Oh my.
He GoPro'd our whole trip down the Grand Canyon and back.
Well, just let us know what's on so we're not picking our nose, okay?
If you see the red light flashing,
That's it.
I think I'm gonna live stream it to
you're gonna
Sam.
stream it too.
Just Karen and Paula or Lisa.
Okay.
Karen and Paula, you mean Paula
Lisa.
right here?
Lisa. No, yeah, I wore the whole this GoPro 10 miles down and 8 miles down and 10 miles back in the Grand Canyon.
All right.
So I had swapping batteries out. Every time the battery would run out, I'd put a new one in and record the whole thing. And I have it on my YouTube channel. I should send you the link.
Okay.
As a matter of fact.
Well, I can keep up with you that way, Blair.
He GoPro'd yesterday. We did that bridge walk.
Louis, what's your phone number?
Mobile number?
Yeah.
724-355-5544. 724-355.
Why did that come up as a number? Oh, there we go. I'm just going to say hi.
No, I left a couple fives out.
I know, right? That's what I figured. I didn't say hi to Jessica.
I caught her there because she went and reparked the car.
Did it come through?
Let's see here. I'm behind a bit. This could be you. 678.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to send you the link at some point to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
And there's only there's 20 videos on it, but it has some of the things that we've done.
Like someday when you have nothing to do.
Yeah, hours of nothing to do.
Hours.
And you want to watch us walk down the Grand Canyon.
All right. That's so we can get a Grand Canyon tour to Blair.
Okay.
Yeah, virtual. You won't have to go now.
Oh, there you go. Check.
Done?
Well,
Done?
and we have the free senior pass, so we don't even need to pay you for this.
Oh.
We'll show you our little passes.
Yeah.
We got those when we were in Yosemite,
Yeah.
and they were like $10. And then right after that, they said they
It was
were
a
gonna
lifetime?
Raise the price. You got the lifetime
Yeah.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. We should have bought you one yesterday when we were at that, we did the bridge climb.
Was
the
that a
bridge
national
walk.
park?
Yeah, that's a national
Where is
park.
Oh.
The new in West Virginia, the new River Valley Gorge.
Oh,
Yes,
we're going
We're going there in about a month or so.
Yeah.
Do
we
the
did
bridge walk.
Okay.
There's no athletic ability required whatsoever.
Absolutely not.
Because we did in Sydney, we did the bridge climb where you climb up the bridge, and that's kind of what we were expecting something a little
Right.
more active.
Yes,
There's no
yeah.
athleticism
Okay,
required,
okay.
but you're up very, very high.
I don't know
Very
if I
high.
like that. Are you under the bridge?
You're under the
Under the
bridge.
driving part.
Yes.
Yeah, but they strap you on a harness and you have
Yeah,
it
you have a
tethered to
harness
this
and you're tethered to a
cable.
I probably wouldn't do that.
Well, you
No,
can watch
no,
it on Blair's YouTube channel.
Yeah. Betsy doesn't like to be tethered.
No tethering allowed. Yeah.
So anyway, we're doing a long weekend, like a Wednesday to Sunday, with both kids and their families. And so far, Katie booked us a river raft,
Yeah.
ride the rapids, whatever. And it's for kids 6 and over. So 'cause our youngest is 8. And I said, so it's for 6-year-olds and over 60. That's
Okay. That's good. Yeah.
Now we did see some of the rafts exiting at that point, right at the bridge. The rafts were gonna. Now, I don't know what company. There's like a half a dozen rafting companies. They did.
Yeah.
And there's a little raft. No,
You know what? I will give you. This is what I do when I'm whitewater rafting, and I get a little scared when we're going through rapids because you're sitting on the edge of the boat. I slide my butt cheek down, and I'm not going to because I'm not going to take a little chance of flying out of that.
That's more.
I just slide my butt cheek down and just.
Mark, where is your cooler at?
It's in the bike. You ready for it? I don't want to carry it down yet.
Well, I guess so.
Huh? You ready? Memories.
Hi, Mark and Terry. I got you.
Now, Lenny, why are you not retired?
Yeah, we're wondering why are you guys retiring? Like, why don't people retire?
Because you didn't. You're working at home still.
Yeah, but you're not. You're still on the road.
I'm not old enough.
How old are you?
I'm still in my 20s now. I just turned 62.
Look, this is Margie. Remember Margie?
Oh, I've never met you. I've seen you on
You never met Margie?
And Blair.
Hey, Mark, how you doing?
Finally, I think I've met you all.
We have to work together.
This guy here just stopped in. He was walking up from the pool. We don't know him.
So true. No, so there's an opportunity in Florida. We could have retired 4 years ago. I was going to.
Yeah.
And then I started doing these temporary assignments, and well, they kind of pay for your housing when you're there. They increase your salary. So it's like, they pay you for overtime. It's like
It's hard giving that up, isn't it?
Well, it's hard, but we also owned a home on the beach at Gulf Shores.
Yeah.
So from Louisiana, it's only 2.5 hours. Where Huntsville, it's 6 hours. So it's like, she said, this would be great. Let's just do it. So I did 2 years. Had to come home. They send you home after 2 years. Then you go back again for another 2 years. And they said, do you want to do another? No more New Orleans. How about Florida? I said, sure. So I was down there for 6 months building the Artemis, the first one. So we got that done, and then they called me back to build second, third, fourth rockets. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Nice.
And there's nobody to replace me. So I'm the double E that,
Aren't you seeing a lot of that? I'm seeing that in my field too. That there's a lot of people like us in the field, and they're not replacing us with the younger generation.
I'm teaching a lot of people. But no, a couple engineers, I'll say, hey, here's your drawing. Can you make these changes? I just do it for them and say, here's his was. Does it make sense to you? Oh my God, this is great. It says, yeah, your thing was a little confusing, and they're building it wrong because of it.
Yeah, they're building it wrong. It's not going to work.
I teach technicians how to read drawings and how to glue parts.
Yeah, but I'm seeing that though. Is that there's no one to replace? Like I've been architecting for years.
Yeah.
And once I leave, I'm sure someone will eventually fill the position, but there's nobody there. I mean, I've been doing this for 30 years, maybe 20, 30 years. So why isn't that person my age learning now what I started doing 30 years ago?
It's scary. But yeah, if they want to, I said, when I do retire, $500 an hour, that's what you get me back at if you want.
Yeah.
Screw it. I'm going to pay lawyer fees.
Yeah.
Just give me silly money.
Yeah.
And I can work for 3 months, make a whole year's salary.
So are you on the beach or shore or anything right now?
We wanted Cocoa Beach, we couldn't get there, but we're in Titusville, which is close to the beach. I mean, we're close to water, so we'll go to this one place and
Oh, thanks.
and you sit outside, watch the launches. The vehicle assembly building at Kennedy, it's the biggest building at Kennedy, and you see it from
That's
the
probably
west.
pretty cool though,
That's where
working there.
everybody's. Well, I see so many launches. It's no big deal, but Allison's like, this is so cool. We went to the Axiom launch where it launched the 4 astronauts up. They were private, tiered, going to the space station. So we got to see that launch, and she was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
So it launched from like your location where
Launched
you
from
are?
Kennedy, and we're here, and we're 7
Was
miles.
that one of the
7
Musk?
miles.
Who was it, SpaceX or was that a
It was
Musk?
a SpaceX launch,
SpaceX?
and they launched up. Yeah, it's just he's done. He can do this, right? Boeing works off of NASA contracts. If you don't tell us to bring the thing back, then it's not in the contract. We don't bring it back. We throw it in the ocean. Right? And so we got this massive thing. There's so much titanium on it. I'm thinking that thing would make someone a bazillionaire.
If you could just find it?
Just find one of them, yeah. It's hard to pull them up, but you can get a lot of, you could probably float up with a lot of baggies.
Now, do you find that they do things better than NASA?
No, what they do is they build a rocket, and they just launched one, right? They built a one that's more powerful than our Artemis, and they launched it, right? But they have 33 rockets attached to each other, and they launched this thing, and 7 of them went out, and it started spinning around. And it's like, and so they have this. So I worked on a flight termination system, and that thing's supposed to blow the rocket up. When you pushed it, it didn't blow it up for 35 seconds. That's bad. 35 seconds. If it goes out of the field, it's going to come down on people, houses.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what you're stopping. So it was just, it's like, this is pretty crazy. And they blew it up. Right? And so now they got 33 more rockets. Next month they're going to launch.
Oh, so they haven't had a successful launch yet then?
Well, they did. They launched it, and while they went through, what do you call it, Max Q? Max Q is where you get this pressure on the vehicle, and if it survives through that, vehicle will go. Right? So that's when things started going out. And so they're going to build another one. They're just going to launch it again. SpaceX doesn't, they kind of look at their analysis, but they go really fast. Right? Boeing announced, they're like, wait a minute, we need to, root cause, we need all this stuff. It takes years. And it's horrible, right? Is his concept better? He's going to spend $5 billion on it.
In between
He's spending $5 billion. We spent how much? We spent our.
When you say we, U.S. government or
we? I mean, your taxpaying dollars paid for the $5 billion it took us to get Artemis up.
Okay.
Now he's going to spend $5 billion, but his is going to be 2 or 3 times more powerful because he's got all these rockets up. So.
And he sent his up yet? Even a test run?
Yes. He did a test run and they blew it up. Huh. It was the first one. They took him up. Launch them because all his little rockets have already been tested, right? But several of them went out, and they were all supposed to come down, fly down, and land. All 33 of them.
That's his technique is restoring them.
Reusable, put them back, refill them, clean up, and go. It's a great concept, but he's a little bit. Let's launch another one. Learn more. I was like, well, wait a minute. Why don't you learn from that one?
Yeah.
Then change it, and maybe you'll be successful.
Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
Does he have enough time to change his rockets before the next launch?
He's the most richest man in the world now. So he bought, what is it? One internet company. I'm thinking, oh man, he's killing them. Now he fired all these guys. Now he screwed up and he's hiring them all back. Trying to. They don't want to.
It's on Twitter. You're talking about
Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah. It's sad. Oh, it's fine. So I'm going to give it 2 more years. I told Allison no more. March 15th is my last day at Florida, and I told Allison
next year,
2025.
Oh, okay.
And I said, after that, if I retire and I have all my PTO time plus sick time, I said I have 54 days. So I'll retire on June 6th or something like that. I'll just 15th go home, don't go back to work.
Yeah.
Show up one day on the 6th and say, adios guys, great knowing you.
Yeah.
For 41 years.
Now how old are you now?
62. You're a year older.
Zoe, I need your help.
I'm 6
Oh, we
now.
thought you were 65 already.
I'm younger than you.
Yeah.
Oh, we were trying to.
Remember, we look the same.
Yeah. Jean was saying.
Your mom says I'm better looking, but I don't know.
Jean was saying that Mark was was Paul's age, Lenny was your age,
No, Mark was Pat.
No, Mark's older. Mark's Pat's age, right? He's 60.
That's what she was saying. Mark was Pat's age, you were Blair's age, and Paul was her age.
No, he's a
so
year,
we just
1
went
year?
with it.
You're 63, right?
No, I'm 65.
65. So you're 3 years old. Okay.
Yeah, so we went with what Jean
Memorial
said.
Weekend was my birthday.
Okay.
That's good. That's all right. Jean.
All right. So you're not retirement age yet, even.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
No,
like,
I
why
got
isn't he?
two.
She said that. We said,
But
why
I wanted to
isn't he
retire
retiring?
4 years ago.
Well, you should
We had
have.
enough money. We could
You should
have.
have. That's what. That's all that matters. Okay, so then.
Anything to drink?
Have fun.
1995. No, that's a long time. By the way, I think I was 14, you were that age. So that's too long. I'm in Port Angeles.
Yeah, I got keys.
How was she doing? How was Aunt Sophie doing?
Surprisingly, pretty good. Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, she came out from, she was If she wouldn't have fallen when she fell, and it was about 5 more days, she'd have probably died then because she was already had pneumonia. Her lungs would have filled up more.
Yeah.
And the doctors were like, "What do you want to do?" This is like, I get a phone call at 2 in the morning. I said, "Well, okay, don't put her on any, don't stick any of the tubes down, and don't revive her. No, if that happens. Other than that, make her comfortable." So they give her antibiotics, and then the antibiotics, she had an allergic reaction. So
I'm going to sit down, stop, and start live streaming with that.
That's how Washington was saying. We're going to go to Washington.
Hasn't been one in 7 years.
We're going to start eating soon, but we thought we'd start with a couple announcements. I wanted to thank Cheryl and Kathy, of course, for all that they did to prepare. Kathy's not here. Yeah, they're on their way. They'll be here in about 10 minutes or so, but we thought we'd start eating. And we thought we could start the festivities. I wanted to say that the cost of this is it's going to be $30 per person, and either Kathy or Cheryl.
Not me, Kat.
No. So thank you. And then we wanted to start with an opening prayer, and we asked Aunt Mary if she would do that.
Hey,
You got
do you have to get during Kathy, or?
It's a prayer.
Just before the food.
A prayer.
A prayer.
Let me find out where they are.
Will they hear me? Yeah. You all hear me? Yes. First of all,
Oh, wait, where's my phone?
I would like to thank God for bringing us here.
Wait.
And bringing us out here safe.
Wait, yes, sir.
And I want to thank God for each and every one of you for putting the family that you're in now, that was chosen to be here, to be with us. This was what he wanted. And this is what he got from all of us. So we thank God for that. And I myself just overwhelmed that I'm here today. Of all the Gaceks that were before me, Lou's brother, all the brothers, sister, and Sophie. We were the only 2 Gaceks left, Sophie and me. Of the main gate, you know what I mean? First generation.
The
And I want
originals.
to thank all of you for making this big trip from wherever you came from far, California, Washington State, wherever. Thank you all for coming to help us enjoy the greatest family ever. All right, give yourself a hand. And I know that Aunt Teresa, my mother, Dad, all of them up there looking down on us.
Oh, they're right here.
And praying for us, and just keep ourselves all together as we have that close family knit, and never let anything put us apart. Okay? Remember that.
Okay.
All right.
Missy's name. Go through all the names, Mom. Bring them all in. Invite them all in today.
Tell us all about your brothers and sisters. Name them all.
What'd you say?
Start from the top, go to the bottom.
Name all your brothers and sisters. Name them all.
If you need help, we'll help.
Okay.
Name all of your brothers and sisters.
Start from the top.
Name all of your brothers and
Oh.
sisters.
Well, I'll name all my brothers. First of all, I'll start with Alec, my brother Alec.
Alec. Hi, Alec.
He was the eldest. He passed away at the age of 23. Johnny, Louie, Andy, Leopold, Connell, Eddie, Mary, Sophie, Helena, Teresa, and I guess I got them all.
No, Stanley. Did you say Sophie?
Yeah, she said Sophie.
You said so.
Did I forget somebody?
Stanley? Did you say Stanley?
And then we want to all, in heaven, on earth, we will wish all of you happiness, good health, and thank you for making this journey. It wasn't easy for some of you, but we thank you for coming, and I thank you from my heart to your heart. Thank you. Enjoy yourself.
Let's eat. Thank you. Let's eat.
Let's eat.
Michelle, who was the baby? Good job.
I'm doing all right.
Very good.
Okay, hi.
You're a natural.
There you go, Jessica. Go and get in there.
I'm fine. I made it. That one's out. Nick's house. And an early morning. Just like, so it worked out. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It couldn't have worked out really
I
good.
guess I hi to Cheryl. I haven't said hi to her yet.
I'm
Have you?
gonna get a name. Not yet. No.
Hopefully, maybe for the next couple years, I get a position.
Sure.
Blair, how
Thanks for
are
putting
you?
this together.
Yeah, I hope
Nice
we have
spread.
enough food.
Oh, looks like it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Looks good too, yeah.
Cheryl, did you make all this yourself?
Yeah, I slaved.
Oh boy.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look good. Cornbread. Oh yeah, these are a few of my favorite things.
A speaker.
Here's a name tag for you.
You did great. Are you still rangering?
Oh, no, I retired from that back 16 years ago.
Probably as long as you've been retired, Louis.
I retired 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I worked for 50 years. I started when I was 5 years old on the farm.
Oh, yeah, I believe
I was
that.
picking eggs, you know.
Yeah.
So it was time to hang it up after 15 years. Yeah, I was fortunate there. I was 55 when I retired. And Betsy worked on it for about another 5-6 years. And yeah, here we are now.
Yeah.
I'm in my 7th decade now.
Yeah, you would be 70. You're 70 now, huh? You're about
Yep,
2
yep.
years older than me.
Yep.
Yeah, I retired at 52, but I went into business again for myself.
Okay.
Contracting business.
You were building down there.
Yeah, I know.
Just a good man for farming.
I know. I felt like it was really
I'll never forget one time.
Keep looking and see if I do know if I can find we did send stuff out. That's probably this one. You can see some stuff.
And when was this?
Let me change this one. Let me make it right.
Oh wow.
Hi,
To
Oliver.
like a secluded beach in Hawaii.
Oh my God.
This is my wife, Kristen.
Hey, Kristen. How you doing?
So is this
Going,
what you
Blair.
wore?
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
No, I wore a dress.
Oh, you were.
I changed.
Yeah,
I was gonna
we
say,
had
but
a
that's
couple
really.
different-
How. Oh, look at the flowers and everything. Oh, that's great.
She actually made that whole thing.
Yeah.
What part of Hawaii did you get married in?
Oh,
that's a nice.
sweet.
Huh?
Yeah, on Oahu. This is like a secluded beach on the west side that you can kind of walk through the sand to. We had one of my friends who's a photographer kind of be like, yeah, I'll take your stuff. And that's
the
right.
dog.
That's all. Yeah.
That's how nice. Is that what island did you live on? That island?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only island I've been to where we've, other than the.
Say hi to Sandy. I'm streaming live. I'm streaming live to Karen, if they're listening. Karen and Sandy and Lisa.
I missed it.
I'm streaming live.
Screaming. Oh!
So say hi.
I thought you were screaming.
No, streaming.
Hi.
Yeah.
Who's that? Who is that? Lisa?
Maybe. I'm not sure if they're listening or not, but they can. So let's see if anyone's listening.
That's why I like these. I will say, are you still working at
If Karen and Lisa, they're not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wave to them.
Huh?
Wave.
Yeah, chilly. I know.
Wait, Lisa?
No, I don't know. They have to. Okay.
Yeah, oh yeah.
December 31st. So,
Nice.
yeah, I left about
Excuse me.
7 in the morning and we drove to Seattle.
We gotta go all the way around Palms River.
And so we had a big party and fireworks on the Sunday.
It's Barnegat Bay. People, I can tell what you're talking about. Yeah. Yes.
Come around like horseshoe, and it comes around
Yep. She mentioned that this morning.
Their forks are over here.
I'm just going to
Go for it.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. That's okay.
That's what they all say.
They all say next they're taking brisket and they're taking ribs.
The worst defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta get these young guys working.
You need a hand?
That's his sister. Her sister.
Silly goose.
Dad, I'm gonna put this on you just so that you cough a little bit. All right.
That's where you got your cough
We're
from.
gonna bring your here. You okay?
I have it.
You ready? Huh? You
It's
okay?
locked. I got it.
Yeah, how do we get this?
Me. You're gonna
Same
get
way as usual.
Where I get my feet down?
Yep.
All
Hold
right.
on to me, okay?
Just like clockwork.
Look, we're gonna wait 1 second. We're gonna grab his pants in a second, okay?
Woo!
How's that, Dad?
No problem.
Oh, that was easy. That was easy as pie.
Okay, yeah, fine. We'll say hi later. But,
He's sick, but I didn't want to know. I mean, he's just had like sinuses,
oh,
and but I brought a mask and.
well, it's so nice for you to bring him out
COVID
here.
So I'd rather him be here, to be honest with you. I think the sun will help him.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
met, no, you didn't meet my Frank. This is Frank.
hey, Frank.
Here, I'll get this one.
Huh?
Hey,
you
there
doing?
you
It's
go. Doing well.
Lexi. I'm behind you. I'm making sure you don't roll down the hill into the swimming pool.
Oh, we're in Georgia.
They're in Georgia. We
Yeah.
Mary's house.
You hand me a knife and fork and napkin. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to get mine.
Oh.
A 75-year-old aunt that might end up with
Let's sit over here.
She's been raising the infant for the past 8 months. You know.
Over there, in the right cooler. Right cooler. Here.
No, I got it. Cut me off already.
I thought we might take a little time now to do some sharing and about family sharing. And so, what? Let me look at my notes here.
No notes.
What do you want? So approximately 2.5 years ago, I got
Wait.
2.5 years ago, I got an instant message on my Facebook or something from someone that says, "Well, who is your grandmother's name?" You know, and I thought, well, you know, this is a scam, and so I looked at it. It was a Polish name, and so I just put Kanagunda Pawalczyk, and she said, "I met you 31 years ago in Poland," and I went, "Oh my gosh!" You know, so that's Zosia, and her last name is Goralekska, and Zosia is her maiden name was Zosia Gacek, and she is first cousins with Aunt Mary. Her father is Ludwig. And Ludwig was born in 1906 or something like this, and so they were. Anyway, she was a late child of Ludwig's, and Ludwig and Jan, our grandfather Gacek, were brothers, and so she's a first cousin of Aunt Mary, and Aunt Mary got to talk to her when we were in Chicago. So the story on how I met her was, I think, a little interesting. I was traveling through Europe in 1981, and I was at the Vatican, and I came out of the Vatican late in the day to hear Polish music, and it sounded familiar to me. And there was a group of high school kids from Gdansk who were praying at the site where Pope John Paul had just been shot in 1981. He was still in hospital, and they had one red rose on the Vatican Square and singing with banjos and guitars. And I told them I was Polish American, and they embraced me and invited me to Poland. So I managed to make it to Poland, wasn't planning to, but before I left, I called my folks and I said, well, how do I get in touch with my family? And they gave me one name. They said Maria Pawalczyk, Chada Denias, and nothing else. So I managed, this is pre-computers, right? So I managed to make it to Chada Denias on a Sunday morning, and I got off the bus and walked into the church, and there was a church service going on, and after Mass, and this is 1981, Iron Curtain, you just couldn't travel to Poland if you know, without a lot of effort. So I went up to the priest, I said, I'm looking for Maria Pawalczyk, and they said, she's over here. So she was at the church, and I went over and I said, Edvard Gacek, and she didn't speak Polish, English, I didn't speak Polish, but she took me back to her farmhouse. And so we walked up to this farmhouse, and she seemed clueless. She did not understand what so I got out a big piece of paper, and I put it on a table, and I drew out the family thing, tree with grandma and all the brothers and this other lady was watching, and she went home to her house and came back with a photo album, and she opens up this photo album, and there's a picture of me and my dad and grandma in front of the house in Connecticut, and I said, that's me. And they just grabbed me, and I think they hugged me for about 10 minutes. They wouldn't let me go, and I just was confused. Her name, Maria Pawalczyk. So the Maria Pawalczyk I met at church had married into the family. She didn't know anything about this family, but our Aunt Sophie the in-laws are all shaking our Aunt Sophie used to send money to the Volchiks all the time, and so there was a bond there. There were pictures, photo albums. So I went around town, and before I went to Poland, I had gotten a bunch of dollar bills and $5 bills, and I had given Zosia, who texted me, $5 31 years ago, and she held on to that for 5 years and then immigrated to Chicago. So she's now living in Chicago. So if you're ever in Chicago, and she said I can pass out her name if you want to connect with her. So I thought that was a really, really neat story. And she made some white lightning here, some cherry. I put this near Lenny last night, and somehow it was good. But it's good. So if you want to have a sip of that, I also, when we were in Chicago, I got some Polish water, and there's on the dessert tray. There's a bunch of desserts and stuff from Poland. So if you want to, one of the stories that Zosia told us about, which was totally new to me. Well, she says, "Oh, we're not just Polish, we're Highlanders." And I said, "I've never heard. Anybody hear the term Highlander?" Scottish Highlanders. Well, there's Polish Highlanders and Ukrainian Highlanders. They're the mountain folk. And Lou, our Lou, handed me a postcard that I had sent to his parents in 1981, July 28th, 1981. And I said, Uncle Lou and Aunt Mary, Dzień dobry, greetings from Chudny, Poland. And then I said, hope you are all well, and love, Ed. And pictured on here are the Highlanders. There's a certain dress. They have these wooden sticks that they use in, what was it? Chapata. And so the characteristics of the Highlanders is that they're fierce warriors, independent, strong family bonds, and they it sounds like our family. And they didn't choose to live in the mountains. They were kind of forced up there. The fertile land was in the valley, but they became, for like 300 years, they were living in the mountains. So the mountains between Czechoslovakia and Poland
What do you want in your
is
coffee?
where Chudny is.
What do you want in your
Nick
coffee?
And Andrea got to
What do you want in
visit
your coffee?
Lots of milk with us a
Lots
few
of milk.
years
Sugar?
ago, and Poland is wonderful. If you ever go to Europe, include Poland on the list, and it's pretty easy to get to Chudny, and there's a beautiful church there, and it was just wonderful. So Google Polish Highlander, and you'll read all about these people. They're really unique, and some people consider them like a different sector of Poland. There's a little dark side of the history. When Hitler went into Poland, he admired the Highlanders so much that he said, "Leave them alone." And so they kind of skipped over. They left them alone. They wanted to pull them into the Aryan race and stuff. There's like a little dark side, but that's a long, long time ago. Highlanders today are just. Zakopane is a ski resort in southern Poland, and that's where our roots are. So today is Grandma Kunagunda's 139th birthday. Somehow we managed to have this party.
I can't find milk.
And I found out later that it's her 139th birthday. So
this is Ryan's birthday, right?
Okay.
Wow.
So I thought one thing we could do with this time, because if you're just talking to the person next to you, you don't get to hear from everybody, but if you have stories to share, my son Nick and Joanna, daughter Joanna, are here. My dad was, when my dad passed away in 1995, Nick was 4.5 years old and Joanna was 2. They never really got to experience my dad. So one of the things I'm hoping that we can do at a reunion like this is transfer some of that knowledge of what my dad meant to you guys, and my sister is here. Where's Kathy? My sister hasn't been back to Pennsylvania since 2008, I believe it was.
2005.
And so it's just wonderful that she was here. That she's here now, and she had a very close relationship with cousin Barbara. And so maybe, would you like to say a couple of things about Barbara?
Oh, Barbara was magnificent. She was just a...
I can't find any milk.
Oh, jeez.
Thanks, Ed. Am I being punked? That's it. Well, Barbara was just she was just a precious person. She came over to Port Angeles and visited with me, and she we just had a bond. And I just, I just cleaned up. That's the last time I cleaned the house officially.
Your poodles. Her poodle and yours.
Oh yeah, we had an interesting episode where the poodle that she got, I kind of told her, because she loved Poopsie. Poopsie was her dog. She loved her. It was like a little daughter to her. And I saw the little thing she wrote on, I don't know, email or Facebook or whatever, and it was just touching. So I went online to the Orlando or wherever she got the dog, and it was a Bichon. She thought it was a Bichon, but I said, my cousin would make a great pet owner, and just please, have her do it. And she just loved the new dog. Ginger, right? Ginger. Yeah, see, that name came back to me. Thanks, Barb. So, but she was just a wonderful person, and I was so sad to hear that she passed away, and she's too young, and God bless her, and God bless everybody, that's doing their daily battles with whatever diseases and issues that they're dealing with right now. I mean, God bless you all.
Mom, I can't find any milk. I can't find milk.
Anybody else want to share a story?
Milk.
Yeah, I can't find it.
They don't have any milk?
I can't find it.
Thank you. It's black?
Yeah. You can't drink black?
That's okay. I'll try.
There's Rochelle. It's hot. It's black.
It is hot.
Yeah. Excuse me, Michelle.
A lot of you may not know, but our grandma, take pictures, Zoe. Take some pictures. Zoe's really good at it. You should see the pictures she's taking. All right, so Kunda, okay, she was very highly motivated to make, is this different? Give me the white lightning. Yeah. so this white lightning stuff, okay? It's not bad. But Bubba, mine. So here she was, okay? She actually sold moonshine to Al Capone. I don't know if you guys know this.
She did.
It is Al Capone. I have a picture of Al Capone somewhere in that house of hers.
Just say it's Al Capone. There's no quotes.
I don't know exactly where I put it, but I looked it up and it looked like Al Capone. I was close enough. But he came to the house. He liked the moonshine so much he had to come visit her.
Yeah, he said, I want to see who's making this best moonshine.
It was Bubba, okay? So she made it in a bathtub, okay? And made the best moonshine ever. Now, here's the thing is, when she thought she was going to get raided, they had a bunch of buttermilk, right? and they would throw down the whiskey down the drain and put buttermilk into that drain to.
That's why they always had a goat.
The sky always goat.
No, they always had a goat, so they had milk on hand to cover the smell.
Even better.
That's what my boat was. To cover the smell.
So this way you didn't smell the alcohol in the
Yeah.
house, right? So they were able to make moonshine for a long time.
Yeah. But Al Capone tried to take their business as a monopoly.
Exactly.
The other thing is, when Al Capone left the house,
He knows the story best.
our Uncle Andy was, at the time he was there at the house when Al Capone came to visit Bubba and Grandpa. But when Al Capone left, he knocked the fence down, and Uncle Andy didn't like that at all. He got really mad. That's all I had to say.
So some other.
Did you know
stories.
that, Mom?
So you got me on start for a second.
Hey, you got no? You
Well,
got
I'm not done yet. So Uncle Ed, I don't know if you guys remember Uncle Ed. Uncle Ed would call me up. He moved to Seattle, him and Annie Ann, to visit them
Hey,
and
Dad,
stay there.
can you just say whose dad was, how Ed fits in so everybody knows, since young people here don't know. or
Okay,
in-laws.
so cousin Ed here, his dad is my uncle, which is married to Aunt Ann. They both passed away. But Ed was my mom and Aunt Mary's brother. Okay? Does that make sense?
Thank you.
Any more clarity?
None.
Good, okay. Thank you, Chris.
I'm a visual learner. It'd be helpful if you could draw it.
So Ed would call me out. I think at the time, oh, this is perfect here right now. That's better. She takes awesome pictures. So here, he calls me out and says, hey, I have a timeshare. And when Ed went down, he went down to Mexico, Cabo San Lucas, and they got a timeshare. Well, when Ed wasn't using it, Uncle Ed would call me and say, there's room in the timeshare down at Cabo San Lucas in this big, great resort. So Oliver was 16 months old? Yeah.
How does he know?
I didn't know it was Uncle Ed's.
Yeah, Chrissy wasn't born yet. She was still in Hopper. And Allison was 7 months pregnant. Ed calls me up and says, let's go to Mexico. I've got the timeshare. I says, okay. I tell you what, I'll buy you tickets to get down to there. Ed had called me and said, I've got tickets to Southwest. I got 2-for-1 tickets. He gave me 2 of them. So I was able to buy me and Allison a ticket and Oliver a ticket with Ed to go down to Mexico. And I brought Ed a ticket for $88 round trip from Seattle, or from Washington, Seattle to California, where I was from. So Ed would come down, him and I'd play golf, you know, so he'd give me some tips. And then we went to Mexico. Well, Allison's like, we're not gonna go, I'm 9 months pregnant. I says, or 7 months pregnant. I said, no, you're gonna go. I said, you always told me when you're in the water, you don't feel pregnant. So we're gonna go snorkeling. So we did, right? So we had this fabulous guy.
Oh, is that where I like swimming?
This is why you like swimming. Yeah, there's octopuses and stuff like that. Yes. But so we went there. But here, Ed's dad, Uncle Ed, went with me fishing, right? So the boat came to the resort on the water. It was coming from the beach. So he had to climb in his boat. So me, youngster, just jumps right in, right? And then Ed's hanging on, a wave hits and he's under the boat. Ed had hearing aids, okay? And they got wet. So without his hearing aids, he couldn't hear me. I was like, oh, crap. You know? So here, we got on this 14-foot aluminum boat. Some Mexican kid took us around. And here we saw a school of marlin, okay? And I mean, it was hundreds of thousands of fish boiled all over the place. And he tries to get around in front of it, hooks on a fish, and you see this piece of fish on top of the water, and I'm looking up, and the fish are there, the fish aren't interested, but there's somebody else interested. This seagull comes down, or this pelican comes down, grabs it. And now the pelican's just flopping around, and I tap the guy on the shoulders, so he stops, and goes to fish, you know.
Didn't Uncle Ed catch
Well,
the...
hang on. And so here we are, we have to take this pelican off. We get it, he fills him up with water and sets him down and says, fill it. I can understand that he said he'll live in Spanish, or mixed Mexican. So, okay. So we went out of nowhere. That was gone. They were all gone, right? And he knew that we lost our chance. So he goes and finds this log in the middle of the field. Don't know how he knew where it was. And now there's Mahi Mahi, or Dorado. You know what those are? So Ed goes, and I get this, I hook it at first, right? And this fish, this Dorado, is this 8 foot long. And I didn't have I didn't know the, the tension and all that stuff. It was too tight. I didn't know how to do the rod and reel, right? So I went down, and my rod is like this, right? I'm thinking, oh God, this seems like 100 pounds or 150 pounds. I'm like, what do I do? And I went, snap, okay, I'm done. I said, hook? He says, only one hook. I was like, seriously? I have one hook for a one rod. So Ed, Uncle Ed, he caught 5 of them, right? So here, let's see, what do we do? He paid for the hotel, so I paid for the food. And then here, the Dorado that day, we took it to the kitchen. They were supposed to cut it up and we were supposed to take it home. Well, that night, we had Dorado, right? Mahi Mahi, beautiful. But everybody else in the restaurant, guess what they were eating? Mahi Mahi. So when we left, I had like 2 pounds of Mahi Mahi. That's all they gave me back. He got 2 pounds. I thought, well, he got like 5 fish. This is like 20 to 30 pounds of fish. So that's what we did. We shared that with the community in Mexico. But Ed's dad was wonderful. He would do things. He came to our house. Then he went back to play golf. But he came to our house one time, and Allison would love me. He came for Halloween. So he would dress up, and we had a clown outfit, so we dressed him up in a clown outfit. And he went to a party with us. He was the hit of the party. Anyway, miss him. We missed your brother, my mom, and everybody else. But anyway, that's my story. I'm going to end and let Michelle tell her story. Michelle, come on.
What's Michelle going to talk about?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Michelle.
We'll find out.
They need a lot of milk.
I can't find milk.
This is actually my
No,
mother's
find some
story
milk.
that she told us on the way here yesterday from Eastern Pennsylvania. Okay, so when my mother was young, and of course all the brothers and sisters, there were 7 boys, right, 4 girls. They moved to Mather onto 6th Street. If I get this wrong, anybody knows?
Do you have any milk?
Because I'm just getting it from what I'm remembering. So they moved to a house on 6th Street, I think one street up from where Lou's mother and father lived. And that was where they first lived with all their kids.
Oh, right.
And Grandpa worked in the mall, right? Mather Mall.
Perfect.
Right? So they had all these kids, and then there was what they called the bunkhouse. The bunkhouse was located in that empty lot between the Mather house and the Virgili's. Okay? It was a long building, and come to my mother, it had 14 rooms, 7 on each side. Bunkhouse. So the mine offered Grandpa the opportunity to move into the bunkhouse because he had all these 11 kids or so, and on the condition that he and Honeygunder would take in boarders from the mine. So they took all these 11 kids, brought them into this bunkhouse, 1 bedroom for 7 boys, 1 bedroom for 4 girls. They slept head to toe. 1 kitchen, 1 main room that they shared with the family with a potbelly stove in it. And the other rooms were all for the boarders. And I think the boarders paid $4. She couldn't remember whether it was a week or a month, but then I guess that's how they made some money. But that was the condition. So, no toilets for all these kids. They had to go into an outhouse in the winter. And then she told me that in the winter, all the time at night, they had the pots, and they would just go pee and poop in these pots. And then in the next morning, they'd all argue about who was not going to take it out. But whoever took it out had to take it into the outhouse and dump it. So I said, well, what was these outhouses like in the summer? And like, when the summertime came, and she said it was awful, absolutely awful. They had like 3 holes, and that was it. No toilet paper. Absolutely, they had to use Sears catalogs or newspapers, whatever they could get their hands on. My mother lived in that bunkhouse until she was a sophomore in high school. From the time she was a little kid till they had no toilets. So then, the people who lived in the Mather house, the one that's there now, moved out. So the mine offered, I guess it was your dad, Lou, offered him the house. My mother doesn't remember what he paid, but it was like ridiculously low amount of money. And they moved the family from the bunkhouse into the Mather house, and that's where they all lived, in that house. And then they eventually tore down the bunkhouse, and then that became the house where they finished raising their children. And as each one of them grew up, my mother, as soon as she graduated from high school, 16 years old, got on a bus and went to New York City, and
took Sophie with her,
and started to work in the city. And Sophie went. I think even Aunt Teresa went for a little bit.
Which city?
New York City. Not knowing nothing about the city except for what they heard from friends. I don't know what. There was no any other way to learn about it. Anyway, that was the story of their childhood. And I'm sure Lou has some stories too, because Uncle Lou used to tell some really doozies. I wish I could remember them, but anyway, that was what I learned on my way here yesterday. So.
Is the bunkhouse still here or no?
No, they tore it down. It's just that empty lot, that big on the corner. That's where that was. So they were very poor.
Hey, everybody. Is Sophie on the phone? It's Sophie.
Oh, okay.
Everybody wants to say hi to you. Ready? Say hi, guys.
Hi,
Sophie. So, let me get that speaker. Hang on yourself. I'll get you on speaker real quick. You say hi to everybody. Hang on.
And Sophie's on the phone.
Is she?
Yeah, on Lenny's phone.
Hello, Mary. I don't know who you are. Oh. You're, wait a minute. You're somebody's brother. Millie's. I got half of it, but
I haven't seen you for a long time.
Oh, yeah. What funeral we went to, I saw you. That was it.
He was at the funeral.
I live in New Jersey, yeah. His name is Peter.
No. Smith.
I was going to say one.
All right, Gary, you're all right.
Lou told a great story about Uncle Johnny in the car yesterday.
That's what I was going to talk about.
My
Good afternoon,
lady
all.
friend down there.
Yeah, I know we're going to take a turn here and talk about your parents or aunts and uncle here. I wanted to touch on Uncle Johnny. I don't think he's represented here. The Bostons that are here. But anyways, funny story. Uncle Johnny worked in the mine, lived in Bentonville, and he worked a little at a produce place there. And I can remember every Saturday morning, he'd do some work in there, and then boy, he managed to find a lot of produce into the trunk of his car. Claiming that he had to help feed my rabbits up on the farm. Get some old lettuce. But anyways, he'd gather up some of the produce, and he'd also stop, and he always bought a bucket of chicken. Kentucky Fried Chicken. And he'd head on into Mather. He liked to visit his mother there in Mather, and Uncle Cutto, and stop up at the farm, and eat the chicken along the way and pass some pieces out. And so that was his kind of a routine on a Saturday. Well, one Saturday, he shows up at the farm, and he says to my dad, "Hey, Louie, come on out here. I got something for you in the car." So he opens up, his car, and in the back seat, he's got a little calf back there, okay? And my dad says, "My gosh, where'd you come up with that?"
And he says, well, I was coming here and, it was lost on the side of the road, and I opened my door and he just jumped in the car. Okay. So my dad's kind of getting a little upset here. He says, yeah, I'm sure. The mother's over there bellowing in the field, the calf got under the fence, and you probably, carried it into the car, which I'm sure he did. So anyways, my dad's kind of like, getting a little excited about this. He says, no, I don't want him. Take him back, because he didn't want to be branded as a cattle thief, But Uncle Johnny was just insisting that, hey, just put him out there in the field with your cows and somebody will adopt him. So I just wanted to tell that Uncle Johnny story. And my gosh, I was pretty close to my uncles, growing up here in Mather. And family came in to visit, so I got to see most everybody every year, a couple of years. Really appreciated them and the knowledge, they passed on in ways that they didn't know, because I can kind of relate to that now. So anyways, I could tell like a story about every one of the aunts and uncles of ours, but I'm going to pass it on to somebody else here. I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder.
You have a good story, share it.
Here we go. We're going to pass this on here.
Jokes.
I was going to, I forgot to introduce, there are some new members of this family. And so I thought I have some gifts for the new members of the family. So, let's see, Alina is Joanna's wife, and she just joined our family a year ago and a half. And she's a great person. And this is a bottle of Polish water. So you can have some Polish in you. And are there other members? Let's say we have Kristen. Where's Kristen? Kristen. Yes. Kristen's, I think, is the newest member of the family. That's Polish water. And Matt, yeah. And Matt, we did you already play it?
Drink your beers yet?
Oh, yes. No. Matt is a
maybe I'll have one of
aeronautical
mine.
engineer, so we got
I'd like a half of one.
to practice on while he's
debating it, I'm not sure
here
now.
with us. Welcome to the family. So anybody else want to share?
You didn't have one at all?
A half of one.
You did have one.
Oh, you got any?
You should tell the story of Uncle Andy and D-Day.
Oh, everybody. Oh, well, I'm sure people know that story better than me. Uncle Andy's D-Day story?
No.
I've got you probably know it.
I think it's you.
The one, the D-Day one, the one where he had to pretend he was dead. When I don't know what.
Wing it.
And Uncle Andy was, I guess, what would I call him? He was just a lot of spunk, right? And he always got himself in a lot of scraps. And even though he was smaller size, he definitely carried a big punch.
I don't remember.
So
This is
the story
I
I
can't
remember
remember.
telling
Okay.
us
I'm not
that he
saying that
landed on the
being
beach of
confrontational.
Normandy. And all the destruction and the deaths that happened when our allies landed. And a lot of dead soldiers were around him, and he had to pretend to be dead when the Germans were going around poking the dead soldiers to make sure they were dead. So he escaped near death from that experience. And then after that, he went on to other. He also served in Japan, right? On the in Italy, and he just went everywhere. But he was a real war hero. All of our uncles went to.
In the army, they just got in, and the war was winding down.
But then he had an issue with a medical issue why he couldn't serve, or he was one of the only boys left, and they didn't want all the boys going.
You had the other night.
That's Uncle Louis. No, because Uncle Eddie had.
My dad had a separated shoulder.
Oh, your dad did. Okay. Okay, and then and I know that Uncle Cutto was discharged for an injury, right?
He was shell-shocked.
He was shell-shocked, and I guess there's a couple things. So the last time we had this reunion, I was writing a book, and I had 2 chapters done. I think I only got 3 chapters done now, so I didn't get very far. So I had to stop my research because it's a lot of work to do research for a historical novel. Where's my glasses? Right there. Okay. But just a couple things I sent Michelle. If anybody's interested to know when everybody came over here. So Grandma was born in June 10th, 1984. 1884.
Which one?
Oh, 1884. That's right, Michelle. I said 1984 in the email. Kunigunda was born in 1884 in Chudna Dunajec. If I said that correctly. It's a town located in southern Poland near the Polish-Slovak border in the Nawi-Targ County in Lesser Poland, now known as the Highlands, that I know. And that's 60 miles south of Krakow. She emigrated to the United States on the SS Bremen from Bremen, Germany, and arrived in New York on November 6, 1913. Our grandfather, Jan, was born December 17th, or 18th, or 23rd. There's a bunch of documents. There's his naturalization papers when he came over on the boat, and another thing I read, the marriage license, and they had all different dates on them. So it's anybody's best guess which was his day. But he was born in 1893, and he immigrated to the United States on the SS Lapland.
Okay, so sorry. So I got the right person. Yes. Let's start that again. There is Alex.
That's all right, we got it. Go ahead.
Go.
It was tough, but they all stuck together through the good times and the bad. Years went by, some got married, and started living their own. Some of them stayed on in Mather, others chose different homes. Sing us a song about this family. Tell us about everyone. All the some are no longer with us. Their memories still linger on. Mary moved out to the East Coast, and Sophie went along too. Mary had 8 babies, while Sophie wore dancing shoes. Helen went out to the Midwest with Chester on her mind. And Terry and Pete did their best. She was a family that's one of a kind. Tell us about everyone. she turned out on me. Now Andy and Eddie love golfing and seek after all in one. But Leopold likes to stay at home. For him, it's much more fun. Sing us a song of this family. Tell us about everyone. Although some are no longer with us, our memory still lingers on. Now Johnny, he lived in the fast lane, but Johnny loved him just the same. He would help you out in a minute as soon as you called out his name. Carol would play his accordion and love to watch things grow. He was the kindest man in Bathurst. Oh, Carol, we miss you so. Sing us a song of this family. Tell us about everyone. Oh, some are no longer with us, and memory still lingers on. Sing us a song of this family. Sing us a song tonight. 'Cause we're all in the mood for some memories, and soon we'll be feeling alright.
Is that the end?
Clarinet solo.
Clarinet solo, yes.
Eddie, I need more cowbell.
Come on, play Kenny G one music. Come on, Ed, do it. I hate this saxophone. The music instructor told my parents, we don't need any more drummers.
Yeah. When you're, yeah. Is it like a oh my God.
This was cool. Totally sick. Totally sick. Bring you back.
Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Safe travel.
Have a safe
Bye-bye now. Good luck in school.
A little bit. Got some tomatoes under our deck and they can anything else is What you got there, Blair?
I got your album. It must have taken Betsy forever to do this. You see, I made a cameo picture in here.
No, I didn't see that.
Here, let me show you.
Yeah.
I got my picture in here.
After my mother passed away, we gathered up all the photos.
Oh, yeah.
We digitized a lot of it and made some Shutterfly book.
Yeah, I made an appearance.
You made an appearance. There you go. Holy cow.
Yeah, I know how fortunate. Yeah, like twice my size. I still beat you up though.
Yeah, so we digitized it, and then like we took all the pictures and we started giving them away.
Well, you gotta look at it. This thing is phenomenal.
I want to see that. Did you finish looking at it? So what? You're telling me that.
That's
How did you get this? Whose idea?
That's like I said, all the pictures from my mother. Giving them away to the family.